Thai chicken salad with coconut cream and roast peanuts is the perfect dish for summer. It's got a beautiful, refreshing, creamy coconut sauce that's been spiked with chili, garlic, lemon juice and palm sugar. It's really light and delicious, perfect toss through a big bowl of fresh herbs and some lovely shredded poached chicken. It really brings the temperature down, cools your palate and is packed full of flavour. So what better way to eat during summer than this? So as you can see, I've got my trusty mortar and pestle here, and this is going to be at the heart of the dish because it's all built around the flavour of the sauce. So we're going to take a teaspoon of salt, there we go, and I've got 2 good pinches of chili flakes. These are already ground up. We're going to pop that in there, and we're just going to grind this together just a little bit, just to get that chili ground into that salt. And then I'm putting 3 cloves of garlic. It can be crushed already, or they can just be whole cloves. And we're gonna make a lovely, highly flavored paste of salt, chili, and garlic. Just a quick rumble around, and that's super fast because I was using crushed garlic. And we've got this gorgeous little paste here. Just gonna wipe that off with there. And now I'm gonna put this into my little pot I've got on the side here. And I'm gonna use my finger. So this is the great thing about fingers. They can perfectly just fold in and grab out. There's only a couple of teaspoons of this lovely paste. A spoon is just going to leave too much on my mortar and pestle, and I can take it out and it's nice and clean. Okay, to my pot, you can see the paste there. I'm going to add 2 chicken breasts. So I've got some 2 organic chicken breasts. I'm just going to cut these in half, lengthwise, on a slight angle. I don't want to just cut them straight through the middle. I want to go on a bit of an angle through there, because what I want to do is open that chicken breast up and let that poach faster in the coconut cream. Otherwise the big chicken breast will take a lot longer. Right through that nice big thick piece, and in we go. And we want to do this on a separate board so that we're not having chicken juice on the board that we're going to cut our chicken up with later on. So separate board, or wash the board that you're using very well in between. Okay, so to our pot of chicken, we're going to add our coconut cream. So this is 400 mils, or essentially 1 can of good quality coconut cream, and use the best quality coconut cream you can. I'm just going to add a little bit of water just to thin this down. So if you've got a very thick coconut cream, when we go to simmer this, it's just going to be a little bit thick. So I'm just going to thin it down with 100 mils of water. And that's also going to let me just take off excess coconut from here. In she goes. And this is going to go into just a little simmer on a low temperature. Once it reaches a simmer, we're going to cook that for 10 to 15 minutes. It really depends on the size of those chicken breasts. If you've got really big chicken breasts, you might need the full 15 minutes. We're just going to simmer that until that's nicely poached. Then we're going to take that off, let that cool down before we chop our chicken and prepare our salad. Next, we need to add some palm sugar, and I can do 2 things. I can crush it in a mortar and pestle, or I can just simply shave it with my knife. We're going to need 25 grams, and each one of these are like little molds of palm sugar is basically 55 grams. So we need about half one. Cool, there's the other half. I'll keep that for later on. And we can just pop this palm sugar in with our chicken, and that's just going to dissolve nicely. I'm going to use a wooden spoon just to keep things moving around. Already I can smell the beautiful garlic and the chili coming out there, and that lovely paste is going to impart some flavour along with that palm sugar into our gorgeous sauce. So next we need to bring the salad ingredients together and get those ready while our chicken's poaching. Now there's a few things that we need in there as basic staples. One of them is spring onions. We're going to need 4 spring onions. Now Asian salads live and breathe by their textures and their flavours, and mint delivers that in spades. You also need a cup of coriander. So the other salad greens we need are a bit more flexible. Essentially we need 100 grams of something to act as a bit of a filler. Now that could be baby spinach, could be rocket, could be watercress, even a little bit of shaved cabbage. They all add texture and flavour. If you do have access to specialist microgreens, abuna, mustard streaks, or even minuta, fantastic fillers as well. Microgreens just work fantastic no matter what, because they've got a flavour that works well with Asian and Western salads. Let's bring them together. So we're going to need about a cup of mint. Some beautiful, beautiful fresh mint. It's so underrated. If there was one herb, even if it was just with salad greens and shaved cabbage, it would be mint to put into this salad. If the leaves are very big, we can just put our knife through, and that just means when you pick up your salad with your fork, you're not going to have a big mouthful of mint at the same time. And as always, we want the biggest bowl we can because we're feeding 4 people and we want plenty of room to be able to move the salad. So we've got our mustard streaks here. That's part of my 100 grams. So we've got some watercress here. And like I said before, if you needed to, you could use a little bit of shaved cabbage, a little bit of rocket, that would be fine as well. Now I've got some coriander. Now I have some calendula flowers, like these are fantastic for adding a bit of colour, and you just want to pick those off. Beautiful colour, and don't worry too much if you don't have calendula flowers, they are amazing. It is worth going to just get a seedling or 2 from the plant shop and put them in your garden somewhere. They just come back, they self-seed year after year, and you've just got this beautiful resource of colour. It just makes your food fun. So we've got some beautiful chive flowers as well, and people often say, like, where do you get chive flowers? Well, if you grow chives, you're going to get chive flowers. For the simple reason is you're never going to use all your chives, and they're just going to reproduce, and eventually you're going to end up with some of these beautiful things. And just hold them firmly by the head and just tease them off, and you get this beautiful little selection of chive flowers, lovely individually formed, and they've got lovely little texture, and they just taste like chives. So we can just sprinkle those in, and they're free if you grow your chive flowers. Now, just checking back to our sauce, this is looking really good. The coconut cream was already really thick, and I did add some water to thin that down to allow for the fact while I was poaching. It's actually thickened back up just by reduction, so I'm just going to add a little bit more water back to it, just another 50 mils or so. And it just allows the cooking liquor to just be nice and thin and help poach that chicken a little bit easier. Now the way to tell if this chicken is cooked is it will be nice and firm. And this is just about there, a couple more minutes. So this is taking me about 12 minutes to get to this stage, and I just feel like 2 more minutes will be perfect. If you're not a huge fan of spring onions or onion in general, you can leave it out, but I do think they add a nice texture, a nice little bit of bite. Cutting this on nice long angles, nice and confetti thin. Okay, so now I'm going to use a mandolin, and a cucumber is optional, but it is beautiful. And again, I want to put this on as fine as I can because I want a lovely fine texture of cucumber, and I'm doing this on an angle to have nice long ribbons. Watch your fingers. It's a Thai chicken salad, not a Thai finger salad. And we're going to use 1/4 of a red onion. And here we go. Lots of texture, lots of flavours, and the smell is beautiful, gorgeous. And look at those colours, wonderful. Let's set this aside and check out how our chicken's going. Okay, so here's our chicken in its cooking liquor, and it's been a good 15 minutes. This chicken is definitely lovely and firm, which tells me that it's fully cooked. Easy way to tell without cutting it open is if you make a closed fist, so fingers in like that, thumb on top, hold it quite firmly, just like roast chicken. When you press that little muscle there quite firmly, that's how cooked protein should feel, and I'm feeling the thickest parts of it, and it's lovely and fully cooked. So I have no concerns there. Temptation is, when you're making a salad as beautiful and tasty as this, is rush into it, tear it apart, chop it up, and toss it through those salad leaves. You do not want to do that while the sauce is hot, and you also want the chicken to cool down in the sauce so all the juices that have come out into the liquor go back into the meat to make it lovely and moist and extra tasty. If you pull that chicken out straight away, if you're in a bit of a rush, you do run the risk that the meat is going to be drier than it normally would. So cool it down completely in the sauce, and as luck would have it, I've got some that I prepared earlier. And here it is. So this sauce is like a nice room temperature. I did this earlier this morning. And what I'm going to do is take out the chicken from the sauce, shake off the excess cooking liquor. Now this coconut cream is thickened up quite a bit as it's cooled down. That's okay. We're going to thin this down a bit. We're just going to put our chicken over here. We'll deal with that in a second. We'll take care of our sauce. Now we're going to add our juice of 1.5 lemons. If you had big juicy limes, you could use 4 limes. Some good big squeeze. Get all that juice in there. It is beautiful with lime, but when limes aren't in season, lemons are the perfect alternative. If I think it needs a little bit more, just add a little bit more. Just stir that in. Now we also need 2 teaspoons of fish sauce. Now I'm just gonna guesstimate and just gonna have a wee try, see how we're looking for flavour. That's actually pretty good. I'm just gonna add a little bit more fish sauce. Treat your fish sauce as your seasoning. It's nice and salty, it's got a nice funkiness to it. And it's really gonna bring out those other flavours, including the lemon juice. Chili and garlic. That's actually really, really, really good. Okay, so that's all good. We just sit that on the side. The traditional way is to open this up with your fingers and tease this apart into the smallest strips that you can. Now this is a little throwback to like traditional Thai cooking, and the texture of the salad when you do it like this is actually really, really gorgeous. So you're just shredding the chicken by hand. The only problem with that is it's a little bit timely. It takes a wee bit of time to do it, and if you like going for really authentic Thai food, this is the way to do it. If you're short on time, there is an alternative, and we'll do that today. So we're gonna advance to go and just use a very sharp knife and just cut it as finely as you can. The slight negative of this is the texture isn't quite the same, but at a pinch, it's a great alternative. Try and cut it in a way that it doesn't crush it, because we're really after that texture. So it just means you need to use more of a sawing motion and just take your time. Otherwise you're going to end up with very bitsy chicken. Helps if you're cutting across the grain of the protein. Even though it's only 2 chicken breasts, it goes a long way. Okay, so we've got a gorgeous salad here. I've got my poached chicken, and in she goes. When we're going to mix this salad, if the chicken's too wet, your salad's just going to clump together around the chicken. So we're just going to give this a little bit of a toss. And actually, just the coconut often that's sticking to the chicken is nearly enough. So let's grab a plate, and we're ready to go. I'm going to dig nice and deep in there. Look at that, just beautiful. It's all about texture, a little bit about colour. Now we can grab our sauce, and we're just going to spoon this over top. And we're going to go roast peanuts. So we've got half a cup of roast peanuts between 4 people, and about 3 tablespoons of crispy shallots. And that's ample just to share between everyone. And then these lovely chai flowers that we had before, a few of those over top. So here we have it, chai chicken salad with coconut cream, roast peanuts. Perfect for summer, fantastic. Let's get into it. Now that is good. See you next time.